All right, guys, welcome back to the True to Success podcast, the True to Success interviews. That's interview. We'll talk about that later. We'll just put it there, guys. Listen, but we have one of the greatest guests I've had so far. Okay, to all the other guests, I'm not dissing you. You were great. You're great. Just Dr. Sharika's the better. Anyhow, but Doc, we were talking about delivering news and taking people through tough situations and sometimes even balancing through all of that. And I'm going to say the word honesty, balancing through that particular honesty. So then you spoke about sometimes speaking to other doctors or to other healthcare individuals. What does it really mean to stand up for patients when it comes down to day-to-day stuff, or not in just theory, but what does it mean to do that?
I mean, care coordination is what we call it, can be beautiful and tricky at the same time, right? Because we all, no matter what profession you are, everyone has an ego that gets involved in what you do, right?
Absolutely.
And we're very proud of what we do. So it is a dance. It is a dance when you collaborate with other physicians, especially people that don't know you. And I'm calling to say, hey, I'm taking care of Dave. And, we were talking about some things and I just wanted to get your input. And share some of his input so we can come together and make things better for him. That's usually the introduction that we give. And it tends, most of the time, it's not a problem. Of course, there are times where two people don't agree, and it's how you let's come to some type of agreement around this that can be challenging. But I always bring it back to what's best for this individual. Like I got my position, you got your position, but neither me and you don't have a dog in this fight. It's not our dog, right? And that's the truth. So at the end of the day, how do we align with what this patient wants? And most physicians will jump on that bandwagon every day. Even if we think the patient doesn't quite get what we're saying, I can say, but they do. Because I've had this deep conversation with them and this is what they heard you say. This is what I've backfilled. And now this is what they understand. And even them being educated about it, they still don't choose this option. And it's hard because we come into this profession to help and we want to come in with all our tools to help. And so when someone says, I don't want that, it's hard to reckon. When I've had patients say to me, Doc, I just don't want that treatment because on the other side of that is not a life I would choose. That's a little hard to reckon.
Really tough.
It's hard for me to sometimes get my colleagues to understand it too, because a lot of times we think we're one conversation away from talking to somebody. They don't understand what you're saying, or they don't quite get it. Are you sure that I'm like, no, they get it. Like, this is a trained attorney, not an intellectual problem. It's a cultural, spiritual, whatever. And cultural and spiritual values are the toughest to override. They're so ingrained in us. No amount of talking is going to override it. If a Christian believes in a miracle, we believe a virgin had a baby. You're not going to tell us. We believe deliverance came from the grave. You're not going to tell us my grandma can't get up.
Jonah was in the well. We can't dwell Jonah in the well.
You're not going to unearth that for someone. And so how do we align with what they believe and what medicine is saying? And that bridge is not easy for a lot of people. Because I'm saying they get it, but they have this cultural and spiritual belief that you will never go around. And there's no sense in doing that. How do we honor that and still let them understand that that choice means this outcome? Because you know what a psychologist told me once? I'll never forget when we were talking and doing this care coordination. He said, Sharika, because I was struggling with the choice. Sharika, adults get to make poor choices. I said, well, who likes that?
Wait.
They're right. And it's a poor choice to us, but not to the person making it. Most people don't make decisions going in saying, I'm just going to make this bad decision.
Nobody.
No, gotta do that.
Nobody.
They really think they're making a good decision, even if it's good for the moment, even if it's just to soothe this thing right here. In that moment, it is a good decision for them. So I think knowing that and kind of being able to do this type of care all these years has really helped me embrace the human, right? Even when it's contrary to me, I've taken care of monks. I've taken care of high chiefs. I've taken care of Muslims. I was in a room once with a Haitian family and the daughter began praying and speaking in tongues. And the Spirit of God gave me a translation in that moment. I've never been able to translate tongues. I knew exactly what she was praying for. So I've been in so many encounters that have made me humble because of the human experience. Because there are things that are at play outside the physical being in these encounters. There's a spiritual, there's an emotional thing, a spirit, and there's the physical man. And all three of those things are what make the human. And so we cannot negate the spiritual and mental, emotional component and just look at the physical thing. We have to honor all three. And not everyone can do that. I've just been blessed, and I thank God that I'm able to see it and be able to navigate it for people and for the healthcare industry. And that's really what my role is as an advocate. Like, I am that type of advocate. I can see the human side and I can see the medicine side and build a bridge.
That bridge is amazing. It's
It's
much
not always
stronger.
easy, but
It's much stronger than the Boston Bridge or not the Boston, but the Brooklyn Bridge that I went over in New York. Man, that bridge is amazing because I want to go on to something else, but before I do, I want to stick right there real quick. Because Doc, I want you to talk to people real quick. And there's somebody out there who might feel ignored, who might feel confused, who might feel like their medical journey is just a lost cause. At this point in time, Dr. Newman, speak to them. Tell them what's the first thing that they need or they should do.
the very first thing is know you're valuable. Everyone, I don't care if you're a bum on the street, everyone has a value. And you have to know that and speak to that. And if you cannot speak to that for yourself, find somebody you trust who can.
Yes.
Because your value is invaluable. You are why we as healthcare providers go to work. We actually enjoy helping people at the level of your value, at the level of your interest. We have everyone in medicine has taken care of the poor to the rich, the least to the greatest. We've done it all. So most of us really don't have that type of bias. So you are valuable to us in the system. You're valuable to us in the healthcare system, but you're valuable as a human, period. In this world, in whatever environment you're in, whatever state you're in, you're valuable. And no matter what you think the number is, it's still a number. And it's greater than zero. I could tell you that. So just the first place you start, whoever can hear the sound of my voice, is I matter. You're valuable, period. No matter where you are, no matter what the world has told you, no matter what maybe your family has told you, your friends, your coworkers, your boss, none of that matters. The truth is you're valuable. From the least to the greatest, you have a value. And that value is worth you and somebody fighting for. Whatever your disease process, whether it's one disease or 5, it is worth you or somebody else fighting for what you deserve and what you want for yourself. If not now, then when? If not when you have a diagnosis or something serious, then when? Now is the time, period. You're valuable. Everyone has a value.
Doc, you absolutely a woman of faith, a woman of God, a woman of medicine, but you're also like that doctor in the family. My God, like I feel like you my sister. What's up, sis? Because there's not a lot of advocacy for people that are out here today. But to hear your voice today, it just is so powerful. Doc, we're going to take one more break and come right back because I think we need to sit on that one for just a second. That's so powerful. Thank you for letting us know that we are valuable.
You're valuable.
Whew, I love that. I love that. All right, we'll be right back, guys, after this.